Hello and welcome to Politics Today. I'm Farrukh Batafi. Today we are going to talk about the accountability in the country. We have been talking about accountability for past 70 years. In the past 20 years, we have seen a lot of actions taken as well. But usually it ends up being politicized, and in the end, the end result is hardly anything substantial. These days, when we look at the accountability that is going on, especially it seems that it is focused on Punjab, and just a few days back, Ahad Chima, a senior bureaucrat, was arrested, and after that media had a field day. But there are many other issues, many other cases of similar nature that are maybe not touched even today. For example, there is a big developer in the country, and it is said that he supports a lot of journalists as well. So whenever anything about him is mentioned, hardly any action is taken at all. This is one side, perception of accountability versus accountability itself. This is one aspect. The second aspect is, of course, the political developments that are taking place. We saw the verdict, and we have discussed that verdict of disqualification, part 2 of Nawaz Sharif. But after that, we have also seen that the biggest party, PML-N, is not officially going to contest in the Senate elections. Their candidates will participate, but they will be independent candidates. So today I'm going to talk about all these matters, and I will try to understand what is going to be the nature of politics in coming days. And the third important part is Nawaz Sharif. He has been disqualified. He cannot even hold the office of the party's president or chairman. So what becomes of his politics, especially when his party is called Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz? So these are the issues that we are going to discuss today. And in accountability, of course, I'm going to ask, why is it that accountability law that was promised to be revamped has not been revamped despite 9 years of democracy in the country? In order to help us understand these matters, we are joined by a very eminent panel. We are joined by Lieutenant General retired Abdul Qayyum Sahab, who is a senator of Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, the ruling party. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. Next to him is Senator Sitara Ayaz, senator of Awami National Party. Thank you, ma'am, for being part of the program as well. We will be joined by a representative of Pakistan People's Party on telephone later in the program. The moment he joins us, I'm going to introduce him as well. General Sahab, I have to start with you. And regarding this accountability process, media is celebrating that now something is being done. But your party repeatedly says that it is being victimized or targeted. What do you have to say on that, sir?
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. But I've since your this English channel is viewed by the foreigners and diplomats also. So I would start with this, that we are proud to be Pakistanis, number one. Number two, we are proud that we have a very a working democratic system. At least we have a constitution.
Right.
We have very independent judiciary. We have a vibrant press and so on. And we have a very sensitized civil society. We are passing through an evolutionary process. Things don't really shape up in a short period of time. The Western democracies which have matured to this, they have spent centuries.
Right.
So therefore, I would like to say that today I'm not satisfied the way we are moving. We would not like to take centuries to really become a very good, civilized and vibrant country.
Right.
But we have to view them keeping in mind the environments, the location of Pakistan, the threats that it has from outside, and the problems that we also have within Pakistan because of history, and there are many other, and geography, and there are other reasons too.
Right, sir.
Now, with this preamble, I would say that in a civilized country, I would say that the best is that you should have a good judicial system.
Right.
And your accountability should be part of that judicial system.
Okay.
And the accountability bureau's head should also be appointed by that judicial system, so that the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition don't come in.
Not by the parliament.
No, I would not say by the parliament. I would say that you should have an independent system where your FBR, those people who tax your judiciary and all that, they should be independent and they should be under that coverage of the constitution.
So
and they should not be able
to. Are they independent right now?
Yeah, I am sure they are.
Judiciary is independent. What about the NAB?
The NAB is again independent that way.
Right.
But the point is that some people do object that the NAB chairman is appointed by the leader of the House and leader of the opposition.
Right.
And leader of the House and leader of the opposition may also fall in that category where they may violate rule.
They might influence as well because by virtue of their office.
So,
but the problem with due respect is, sir, that now it is your party that is complaining that you are being persecuted, not prosecuted, persecuted. What do you have to say?
No, we are not saying this as a party.
Okay.
What we are saying is that there is a bureaucrat who is not very senior. He's grade 1920, and there is an accusation, and still he has not been convicted.
Right.
You have arrested him, no problem. He must come and answer whatever is the charge sheet.
Right.
And then you can punish him, whatever is he deserves. But the point is when you arrest him and it becomes a breaking news, and you show him on the television in a jail, and then it becomes, so therefore what we are saying is that don't politicize it.
Right.
Don't scandalize it. Do best, give justice to people.
And I'm going to talk about need not to scandalize such issues. But let me bring in Senator Saiba. Ma'am, your take on accountability, because there has been a lot of talk, even from your leadership, about maybe the system not actually holding everyone accountable the way they are supposed to be held accountable. And there is another matter that today political parties complain about accountability process when it affects them. But the entire system was in your hands. Your party has been in government 5 years in the past. And at that time you came up with 18th Amendment. You never actually touched the NAB law. Why exactly so?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yes, you're very much right. But now what General Saab said, that we are right now, if we are talking about the NAB and what is happening now in the country, we have so much threats outside and inside, and the way we are going for this thing, corruption, we agree that this is one of the things in our country that we all agree, all the parties agree on this thing, that we have to do something for this, and NAB is there. I do agree that we should have, like at that time, we should have at that time when we were in, to touch these issues, because that was something which really need to be addressed. Right. Even because all these things happened because we did not address at that time the NAB issues and other issues.
Particularly there is one issue that is very important regarding the NAB law, although it was presented during Pervez Musharraf's time, who was a dictator. But there is the issue of burden of proof. It falls on the accused, and you never actually salvage the matter here.
Yes, this is the problem. You know, and then the media, like I don't know about the Punjab, this bureaucrat. I don't know him. But what we are hearing, that okay, if he did some corruption or if he is involved in that corruption, fine, but he is not convicted yet. I mean, he is not a mujrim. He is, you call
Mulzim.
But why you are, he is accused, but why you are giving him, or we shouldn't politicize these things.
Yeah, but who is politicizing? It is NAB's job to actually apprehend a man.
This is, yes.
They did that. So now, who is treating the matter this way, sensationally? It is the media, right?
Very sensational. And I'm not talking about him, like maybe he did all these things.
Yeah.
I'm not supporting that.
Who knows? Yeah.
Because, who knows? Because now the case is with the NAB, and let them do the investigation and everything. But NAB, I think it is in their law that first you have to send a letter asking them to come then the second letter, and the third letter. And after that, that if they
You
don't
apprehend
come,
them.
then you have to issue an arrest warrant, and then you
Right.
have to. After that, there is investigations going on. So I agree that nobody in the political system, we did not touch the whole system. How to?
Yeah.
I agree with this thing that we did not touch this. And when you suffered,
Yeah.
then you start saying that, oh, this is wrong. This is because this is what we did.
You're right.
We
but
did this.
burden of proof thing is so important that
Very
actually
important.
Mia Nawaz Sharif was impaled upon this sword,
Exactly.
guilty until proven innocent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are the things that this is the job of, I think, the parliament.
Right.
To take these issues. These are very serious issues. All the parties agree on corruption, but they did not work on these.
One is failure of legislature.
Failure of legislation.
The second you're saying
And we
is
did-
basically the issue of optics,
Yes,
the
and
way
we-
it has
we did,
played out.
Yes, and we didn't take it, took it actually, and now even we are not taking it seriously. It is a blame game that the political
Right.
parties are doing it. We are not taking this corruption seriously. If one person from one party, if he's accused or whatever, then we are taking, the other party is taking advantage of that and
Yeah, we
started
saw Imran
politicizing.
Khan actually coming on air
Yeah,
and actually
the
giving
same is happening with
a
Dr.
background story as
Asim.
well.
Dr.
Yeah.
Asim case was there.
And
then-
let me have People's Party's perspective as well. I'm told that Senator Taaj Haider, Senator of Pakistan People's Party, is with us on telephone line. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. So we are talking about politics of accountability. And while we were discussing it earlier in the program, one question that arose was that there was almost consensus that a new accountability law will be brought. But your government has been in power, was in power for 5 years. Then PML-N, as a co-signatory of COD, is also in power right now. Nothing of the sort happened. Why exactly, sir?
No, I mean, laws can't be specific. Nawaz Sharif brought this law, and I was a member of Senate at that time also.
Right.
And we opposed the law, and we pointed out certain shortcomings.
Right.
But since it was Pakistan People's Party which was being victimized, then this law was okay. But the point is that you can't glorify corruption. And it's not only the law. I mean, a person has been convicted, and if the person has been convicted, then of course he has to accept the judgment of the courts.
Nobody is actually talking about that at this moment, sir. I was referring to the agreement between PML-N and People's Party in COD that a new law and a new body will be created to hold everybody accountable. That seems to have not taken place at all, sir.
But that did not glorify corruption, that understanding. And there are quite a few things in the Charter of Democracy which have not been implemented. And only
Right.
because Mia Saab didn't want them implemented. I mean, there was the Constitutional Court in the Charter of Democracy. There was a procedure for selection of judges, for the selection of election commissioners. But at that time, he didn't want to displease the judiciary. And he said, well, if you don't agree to such and such things, then we will not support you on the 18th Amendment. So this is the background. On the other hand, there are people who have faced cases and who have been in jail for as long as 9 or 10 years. And after that jail term, they have been announced that, look, there is nothing proved against you. Now you can become the president of Pakistan.
Right.
So,
And he remained, your party's leader actually remained president of Pakistan, sir. But since we are talking about corruption or the allegations of corruption, it is also seen that it is a cultural problem where anybody can accuse anybody and then the other person rots in jail. Is it not important to have a robust accountability system, a revamped system, where burden of
Case,
proof
it was
actually
that
lies with the
organization which
prosecution?
wrote the Panama Papers. So it was an international conspiracy. And then we on our side sat down, we called all parties and we said, well, let's frame a law to deal with these Panama papers. Mian Saab opted out of it. So if a law had been formed and if the parliament could take a decision on that, then of course matter wouldn't have gone to the courts and parliament could have resolved it as an internal matter. But that opportunity was not given to the political parties of Pakistan.
Right.
Because,
Sir,
he thought that
sir, with
nobody
due
can
respect, now
proceed
you're
against
talking about the TORs of the investigation that was being discussed for quite some time, and we remember your party's activism. But regarding a revamping law for accountability, is it important or not? Let me be clear here. I'm not actually trying to imply that the government has done nothing, or for that matter, opposition is always wrong. The humble submission is we might
law
be
is
partisan
there.
or we might not be partisan, but we are all citizens of Pakistan. And we need a more comprehensive law. Don't you think so, sir?
Yes, a law is there and it can't be changed with retrospective effect.
Okay.
And it can't be changed because somebody is accused.
Okay.
So let these things be over and then the parliament can sit down and make a law which
sir,
is not person specific.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not talking about retrospective effect at this moment, sir. I'm just requesting you, is it not important that we should have a law, given that the parliament, the second parliament since you signed COD, is about to complete its term, sir?
I mean, no law is static and no law is final. There is always an opening for its review and for its improvement. So I don't say that this law is final. It can be reviewed. But when you say that it should be reviewed, when somebody has been charged against that law, then I think it's not fair.
Yeah, right, sir. On that note, I have to thank you, Senator Saab. Thank you very much for your time. Let me come back to the studio. General Saab, you have listened to his reaction. He has actually put blame squarely on your party.
Correct.
That it only remembers parliament or legislation when it is under a cloud. What do you have to say on that?
You see, I would agree with him on this account that the laws are never final and you can improve them. There is
Right.
And we are generally discussing an overall issue and the challenges that Pakistan faces today, that we are in this type of a situation. But he was homing on time and again to Nawaz Sharif and Panama and everything.
And for a second, it felt that he's accusing me that I'm trying to create that kind of...
The point is...
It wasn't my intention.
Yeah. No, never. And I think he's forgetting that Surrey Palace was also, there was an issue.
Yeah.
And it was admitted by Zardari Saab. First he disowned it, then he owned it. Could he justify why? How did he get it? So therefore the problem is there in the law because it could not reach out to those people.
But he says that this law was actually created by your government in 1990s.
No.
And it was called Accountability Bureau, Ordinance or Act. And later on it was converted into NAB.
National Accountability by Pervez Musharraf.
And the burden in your law also fell on the accused rather than the accuser. What do you have to say?
Okay, I would say that even if it was done by our government or it was done by Pervez Musharraf, my contention is that our judicial system should be so sound that you don't have to make separate accountability bureaus and put separate people, retired judges or generals, to sit and do justice.
Right.
Because if you have a good justice system, in that you resolve issues, do you decide cases quickly, and you give justice to people.
Right.
And people are accountable if they really violate the law, whether it is the top man, the Prime Minister of the country, or a labor or a junior most person.
So now that the courts are independent, do you think that there is no need for NAB?
I would say that if, you see, we in the Senate, Madam Sitara knows it, we have prepared a package for judicial reforms as parliamentarians. And that has gone to the probably National Assembly and it had to see the light of the day. And to improve that system, I feel that if the judicial system is okay, you don't need a separate accountability bureau, you don't need military courts. When you do that you admit yourself that your system is not good.
Right.
Now, so I would say it again, that in Pakistan, we have to improve these laws. It is a constant process, and that is being done.
Right.
But the problem is not that the laws are not there. The problem is that the laws are not being implemented with that spirit, because every individual who comes and heads that institution, he has his own thing. Some people fall prey to that temptation of politicizing the whole thing, and then becoming a sort of looking as
an activist.
Yeah, and then
Or a
being called an
campaigner for that matter.
I think we have to do this with all honesty and justice. I have been heading different institutions, and I know it. I have been in the army for 35, 37 years. I know, and your father was there in the army, my colleague, and I respect him so highly. What we do, when you have to prepare people to come up and face the bullets of the enemy, you have to be absolutely honest, judicious, fair, and that is what will pay. But when the individuals, different individuals come in different, the DG NAB, one is okay, the other is not good, third, the judiciary, judges have been coming in the past, Justice Cornelius, Justice Amudur Rahman, then Justice Munir and all that. So the individuals also create that aura and that difference.
Right.
So
That is laudable, but we still have to get the answer why exactly didn't we revise the law in past 9.5 years. But let me go back to Senator Saiba. Ma'am, now that we are talking about optics as well. Optics are also very important, right? Justice not only has to be done, but has to be seen to be done. And at this moment, it seems that we are living in a post-truth society where everybody is entitled to their own facts rather than anything else. Do you think that there should be some kind of regulation for the media not to slander without proper context?
Yes, we do need, I think, that code of conduct actually for every institution, but
Code
for
of
media.
conduct or a law?
Law is also, but right now what I think is that code of conduct for media, because what General Saab, he is my elder and I always follow him when he says something, but one thing what he said is about judiciary, that it seems that we don't have any judicial system right now, because if we are going to our past, that this judge or that how they were working, and now how the judiciary is working. So that's why we are having these accountability bureaus and everything, because our judiciary system is not working. My question actually for
General
General
Saab, to answer that.
that if it is not working, that who is responsible then for that?
Remember, you
Because
actually threw the ball in his court during your time. So now he has to answer, and then I'll come back to you.
My question is that if judiciary is not working, again, who is going to make them to work? Who will be responsible? Again, the parliament.
Okay.
Because,
yeah, that is true.
then
but I
right now,
felt that
because
what General Saab meant was
yeah.
that we create too many parallel structures rather than
Parallel
aligning
structures.
them.
Yeah, and the other thing is right now what the NAB is doing is pick and choose, and then this. If you are going across the board, if you are doing
What
that
leads
is fine.
you to think that NAB is picking and choosing right now?
It is what we are like. We have so many other people now, because if you go to Panama, even,
There were more than 400 people, right?
what happened to them? Nothing. So I am not actually saying Nawaz Sharif or his party or anything, but we should go across the board for everyone, because
But NAB actually had a meeting in which they decided that they are going to open other cases as well. And we know at least Salim Khan has been called to a NAB.
Yesterday, I think. Yes,
and he also has an offshore company that figured in Panama.
We are not talking only politicians, actually.
Yeah.
There are so many other, like bureaucrats.
Bureaucrats are being held accountable. Anybody.
So many other. So we need a strong judiciary. We need a strong accountability, and we need a strong parliament for that. Actually,
True.
We need a strong opposition for that.
And do you think that the Parliament of Pakistan is strong enough? Because whether we like it or not, judiciary is quite visible with its strength.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, NAB is doing whatever it takes to do whatever they want to do. But when it comes to Parliament, there are questions.
No, Parliament is working. Actually, I'm not saying at
is
the
it
Senate.
Quite visible?
At the Senate level, yes, we
Is
did a lot of
it
things.
central in the way central to the imagination of the country, the way NAB or Supreme Court is right now? It is not, right? It is not at the center of imagination of people.
Actually, right now, I think the politicians are the one who are like what we call badmash bana dena. So we are not actually at the parliament. We are doing what he mentioned, that we gave a full package for the judiciary.
Yeah,
we
but
worked
it
very
came
hard
after.
on that. Very hard work.
With due
I think
respect,
that-
it
that-
came
that
at
we-
the fag end of the administration and the parliament, and this is the question, sir. Why is it that A, whether we like it or not, the biggest problem for me, even when you talk about regulation of media, PEMRA, a body created by a dictator, and we actually accepted that ordinance. So ditto with the NAB ordinance as well. It was created by, at least in this name or in this shape, was created by a dictator. We have accepted it. Why is it that we are realizing this? A, at the end of the term. B, when actually the attack seems to be, or the accountability seems to be heading your party's direction.
We did not realize it at the fag end of the. This is what I'm saying is that for the last 1 year we have completed, and it went through a process. For example, electoral reforms,
Right.
on which there was a lot of hue and cry, 203 and all that. It started in 2014, and collectively all the parties agreed on to that. Different committees agreed, the Senate approved, the National Assembly approved, and it came to the process. Then came the Panama thing. And then they said, okay, Nawaz Sharif, maybe, then put in that. Then the amendment came. So it was not Nawaz Sharif specific. The amendment which was being brought in was Nawaz Sharif specific, unfortunately.
Right.
Secondly, what Sitara is saying, I think I have not been able to explain that. What I'm saying is that if in a country a judicial system is strong, people get their decisions quickly, then there is no need of a separate accountability, because judicial system does the accountability.
Right.
Do you have a separate National Accountability Bureau in America or in Switzerland or in, for example, France or in Britain
They
and
have
all that?
anti-corruption bodies, but that is okay.
They anti-corruption bodies, but they within the parameter of their judicial system.
Right.
So that must be strong. Why there was a need to have military courts for that matter?
Right.
Why? Because our judicial system was not coping up with that. Now the next question would be that why should we not make that system more potent? And who is to do that? The parliament is to do that. You are very right. And over a period of time, we should have made it more strong. But then the point that I brought out, that it is not only the law, it is the implementation of that law. In what spirit you do that.
That is true, sir. And there is a Tower of Babel in Pakistan of unfinished institutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 bodies to actually investigate corruption. Then, of course, there are others regarding other issues as well. That I get. The parliament, if it has been doing a lot, as you say, why is it that people have not heard? Is it because of the optics problem again? Media picks and chooses, it doesn't focus on the parliament, and therefore you should be placing parliament at the center of imagination by actively showcasing what you're doing right now?
The point is, your constitution gives authority and power to 3 different pillars. One is the parliament, then is judiciary, and third is executive. Right. They all have their role, and within their parameter they have to play around. So right. They are doing. I can assure you that the parliament has to do much more than what we have been doing. But we are privy to the what we would be doing in the Senate. We requested the Chief Justice of Pakistan, and he came there, and while we were finalizing the judicial system, and we brought out all the committee was made as a committee of the whole. The chairman was there, all the senators were there, and we did our best.
But I remember the discussion was about Francis Fukuyama's books and other writers of similar sort. Actually, it was a lecture rather than an input into the law.
We highlighted the points. They went to the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court and the Judicial Commission which is there. They read them over, and then they came out and he gave his views.
Right.
And similarly on the civil-military relations, we requested the Chief Army Staff. He came, and we had a very open-hearted discussion there.
Right.
Now, and the Parliament is not only the Senate. Parliament is also the President, is also the National Assembly. And I'm sure the National Assembly must have also done their bit. But the point is, no institution should dominate the others one. You want to say that Pakistan, why is the Parliament not? Because Parliament has its own role.
Humble submission, sir. When I switch on the television, the first news might be about the executive or the opposition, whosoever, it is about politics. The second news might be of Supreme Court, anything under the sun, but of the Parliament itself. Hardly any debates, hardly any input, hardly any output. That is not showcased on your television. So I was asking, if you're doing whatever it takes, then maybe it is a problem with the optics of this situation that the television channels are not showing it.
No.
In that case, who's going to fix that problem?
When the sessions are on and there is something to mention, the television channels do mention. But we had recommended that there should be a dedicated channel for the Parliament, like you see in Britain. Anybody, whatever
America,
says anything,
Yes, exactly.
and that is
You're
a
right.
good accountability of even the parliamentarians. When I stand up and I speak in favor of a motion or against it, the nation must hear that this senator elected from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or Punjab or whatever, the Sindh or Balochistan, what is his contribution? And I think that way, again, it would help. So therefore, I think we are all doing our best. Lot more is to be done in judiciary, in the Parliament, in the governance system also. And that is the process which is taking us forward. And I am sure that we learn with every mistake that we make. But we should remain, the top priority in our mind should be our state of Pakistan. We should rise above our parties, our parochial and provincial and sectarian thinking, and we should work for the country.
Admiral sentiment, but do you think that is happening right now?
Yeah, that should happen. That is what we, you see, on the television channels when we speak, we educate people. In the Parliament when we speak...
So as they say, shoulda, woulda, coulda. We are talking about what should happen.
Yeah.
We have to say what is happening right now. Ma'am, you want to add to it?
Yes, I just want to add that yes, we do speak there in the Senate, but the only thing is that what they are highlighting, what the spicy news they want, actually we talk sometimes we do talk on a very serious issues, and we give
that
our
is not reported.
Yes, and we
So
do
it is
give
not
our
reported.
inputs
So there
in
is
that.
a problem on the side of the media, right?
They do highlight that, oh, there are a lot of rats in Parliament lodges, but they do not report
And that can change if you revise the Pembera ordinance.
Yes.
Have you done that?
This is what
You
I,
haven't?
in the beginning I said that yes, it's from our side. It is some of our weaknesses that as a parliamentarian, actually, again, the Parliament is not only Senate.
Yeah.
Parliament is the provincial parliaments and the
It is
national.
You know, there's a
president
popular house and there's a territorial house.
Yes.
You represent the territorial house, that's the Senate.
Over there are so many things what we all tried actually, the positive things. But the seriously actually, in the beginning of 2014, it was 2013, after the elections,
Right.
I couldn't see the seriousness here in the whole...
Assemblies?
Not only assemblies, the whole political environment was not serious. Like there was a dharna.
Yeah.
After that, then totally like there was a fight for Takht-e-Islamabad. The whole time there was...
A physical fight, and you can tell us that because this very studio was attacked.
Yes,
This
there
studio.
was nothing serious. Actually, the serious things, what they felt at that time and even now, that how to become a prime minister.
And who's going to make things serious? Who's going to change things and make them serious?
These politicians has to be. Actually, they are the one who are sitting in the Parliament.
Right.
They are the one who, we are talking about judiciary, we are talking about media, we are talking about even the army. But the Parliament is supreme again. When we talk, we have to make it supreme.
Right.
And who are going? We.
Okay.
So
Here's another question. And since you said that we more or less talk about every institution, and we do.
Yeah.
And most of media is critical of more or less every institution of the country. But then there are new power centers, private centers that have emerged. One said, right, a property developer, a tycoon, who is not even touched. And he openly says that I add, tires to the files that I move,
Yes.
right? Similarly, there was another man who owns now a media house, and today he was arrested because his bail that was, acquired through wrong means, that was cancelled. And that is the state of affairs in the country. Who's going to actually hold them accountable?
It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, and I think it's the weakness of the state
Right.
that they are not taking any action against these people. And that's why we are standing here now talking about that we are, God forbid, we are not saying that failed state, but
No, we are not failed
we are
state,
very,
but we keep
but
struggling because we see a lot
keep
of
struggling,
shadows.
But it is the weaknesses.
Right.
These are the weaknesses that we have to work. We all, what General Saab said, that above politics, we have to stand up for Pakistan. We have to, but who? We all talk. We all say that, but who are going to
In
take
action, that doesn't happen.
Action,
Especially during the sit-ins or
Yes.
dharnas, it doesn't happen.
Yes.
Let
Yeah.
me go to General Saab.
Yeah.
You can respond to whatever has been said already, but here's another question. Let us now focus on your party's politics as well. Your party's president has been removed from, his presidency. Now there's going to be a new president who is going to be that. And secondly, what becomes of the man after whom your party is named? Nawaz Sharif.
First of all, about the parliament we were talking about. What I would like to say is, since I've spent now about 3 years in the Senate, that lot of work has been done in the Senate committees that I see. And I'm sure same must be true for the National Assembly committees, they must be working. And the press highlights only juicy news, which makes a...
But would you respect Donald Trump has proven that you can make any news juicy if you want to. Just add controversy, right?
So I would recommend that a dedicated channel for the parliament, so that whatever we do there and the committees, what they do, that should also be highlighted, their contribution, what vision they are giving, and how they are interacting with the government officials. Second thing you said about the party, you see, it is unfortunate that the party leader has been removed, and first from the prime ministership and now from the presidentship of the party. It's a democratic party, and it is the largest party. It is the most popular party. It is most trusted party because
in the parliament, of course, it is the largest.
And Nawaz Sharif is the most acceptable leader in the country. Well, undoubtedly, will you like it or we like it or you don't like it? Yeah. Now the point is that the new leader is to be elected. And tomorrow there is going to be a meeting of the Parliamentary board or
so off the top
committee.
of your head, do you have some names in mind?
No, I don't know. What I saw in the media was that maybe Shahbaz Sharif Sahab. And Shahbaz Sharif in his own right, not as a brother of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, but
he has...
Is it not amazing that whenever we talk about the possibility of succession, it is either Shahbaz Sharif's name that comes up or the wife of the former Prime Minister. Her name has repeatedly been mentioned. And you were saying that it is a democratic party.
The party is not saying that. It is the analysts who are saying that who will be made.
Media speculation.
Media speculation. Not a party. Nawaz Sharif has not said that, okay, these are the choices. We will sit together, discuss and see whatever is the best interest of the party and the country, and that decision will be taken. And I assure you that Pakistan Muslim League is a very big party, is a very sound party. It has its roots in all the provinces. It is a tried party. Its leader has been tried many times. You are witness to this, the load shedding, the militancy, and many other things, constructive work, developmental works, and so on. Things are happening there, and people are seeing it. And I think we have our vision. I am also member of their manifesto committee. And whatever we put...
And speaking of that, sir, it is important that I ask you, because I have done a couple of shows on manifestos. The question is, When are you going to come up with your next manifesto for the election 2018?
Yeah,
because we are already, the February month is ending,
Yeah.
and we are left with few months before the election.
No, I think there will be no constantly meetings after we elect the president, because our party has been engaged because the leader was engaged, the courts things, and every day that you're going and coming back, and nobody was certain who is to lead the party.
Right.
And
So
today, now, tomorrow, inshallah.
Now, if you have a new president, what happens to Mian Nawaz Sharif Sahab? Does it remain in politics, or is he going to face only the cases, and then that's that?
No, the point is if you can't remove a political figure from the political scene unless you politically defeat them. You know that one time People Party was ruling the country, and the more strength and the hub of their power was Punjab.
Right.
Zulfikar Ali Bhutto won by 86,000 votes or something. And today, even a small party was ahead of them, and they were not doing well.
That small party is no longer a small party, by the way. Are you referring to TLY?
Yeah.
It is no more a small party.
No more a small party. So that is what I'm saying. Iltaf Hussain was saying everything, and nobody could dream of, if you put him in jail or you arrest him and you are not going to finish him. Only you can finish him through politically. Pakistan Muslim League is politically a very live, and that is in fact the most threatening thing for our political rivals. And that is how they want that quickly Nawaz Sharif should disappear, Shahbaz Sharif should disappear, party should disintegrate, blocks should be made so that we can emerge. And as you said, that obsession of coming to PM House, that you. So
I actually didn't say obsession of coming to PM House, but yeah. Good.
No, people are obsessed right from election 2013. What was Tariq Insaf saying? That okay, they were saying tsunami and we will go to the Parliament House, or we will go to the Prime Minister House. But unless you respect the Parliament yourself, our parliamentarians, and if you say ke ji lanat bhejte hain or whatever, and you attack the Parliament, then how do you expect that the people will respect them?
Yeah, so and that is important, because I haven't been able to understand two things. One, how to handle this kind of insolence when a leader who is elected by people, A, attacks the parliament physically, B, curses it in public ceremonies. That having said, the second question is about respect of the parliament. How do you earn that respect? Because at this moment, hardly anybody actually has that kind of time to talk about the Parliament. I see people respecting, and I respect the honorable courts as well, a lot. The people might be talking about NAB, people might be talking about this party or that party, but hardly anybody is talking about Parliament right now. How do you earn that kind of respect?
The one thing is that's a democratic process. The process has to. We are not in a favor of to derail the democratic process, actually.
Of course.
It's now almost 10 years they are going to complete, and we are very hopeful that this term will be completed.
It will be, inshallah.
There will be a general election. We all are very hopeful for that. And I think with the passage of time, because with the change of this political governments, people will start accepting actually all these things, because they keep on thinking that okay, after 3 years the Prime Minister will change and other Prime Minister will come.
It is a very good theory, ma'am, but with due respect, in past 10 years since we have had democracy in the country, I'm sure very young kids have actually grown up and they have become adults. And during these 10 years, all we have heard from television, from our pundits who write in the papers, so many, even politicians like Sheikh Rashid and Imran Khan Sahab, that everybody is a thief, that Parliament is not worthy of being respected.
I think it started,
so how do you counter that kind of narrative?
I think it started after 2013, this type of language, political language.
I think you're forgetting 2008.
No, 2008 there was, because we were there in 2008.
I'm talking about television and the narratives in the paper.
But the way they are cursing the Parliament now, and then they are trying to become the head of the parliaments. It's like I don't understand what
Yeah,
what
but
they
you
want.
have to someday
But
have a
what they
think
want.
session
But still,
as a parliament.
but still, I want that with the change of these governments, there will be good people. I think there are some. I'm not saying that the politicians are not good people. I myself, I am a politician. He is a politician. And
Right.
basically, politicians are social workers.
Right.
And they are having respect in their areas. But generally, what you said, generally, yes, I do agree. That it is like a gali for being a politician right now.
Yeah,
And I
but
said that day.
it
on
becomes
the PTV,
problematic when a
it's very
politician is using
yes,
it as a gali, and that
as a
becomes a
gali.
problem.
And this is really very. But I'm again very hopeful with the passage of time.
That will happen.
That
Evolution
will,
works everywhere.
and again, we have to work as a parliamentarian in the parliament. We have to have a good, what we call legislation, good legislation
right.
for different stakeholders.
That is true. And that should happen. I'm told that we have to actually, conclude the program.
Yes.
And on
Again,
your positive
a code of
note.
conduct for media.
Right.
Very much.
Gerald Sahab,
would
your
like to say
conclusions.
just one thing, that to improve the image of the parliament, first of all, we will have to organize our political parties on democratic lines, on merit give tickets, select people. I was seeing that in the parliament of Iran, there are about over 70 people, they are PhDs. In Egypt also there. Educated people come there, and then when we become parliamentarians, we take that responsibility on shoulder. We show punctuality. We take part in the daily sessions and in the proceedings and everything. And that is how, and legislation, as Ma'am has said very rightly. And in addition to that is that we project the parliament and the country, and we don't keep fighting and don't blame the parliament.
Right. That's a great message. Although you used example of Iran, maybe we have better countries to actually compare to, who have been more successful democracies. I don't see that many PhDs in US Congress or British Parliament. But I get your point.
Technocrats.
The only thing that I meant was that it is a slippery slope. Once you have some kind of, limited representation, that can create a lot of problems. But in coming days, let us hope that this debate and the admirable sentiments that you have expressed permeate the social consciousness, and more people think on these lines. General Sahab, thank you very much for your time. Senator Sahiba, thank you very much for your time as well. Viewers, you have listened to our participants. As I said earlier in this program, when it comes to justice or dispensation of justice, it has two aspects. One is justice, that obviously is taking place at this moment in the country. The second is the optics of justice. It has to be seen to be done as well. And if a political party, a very influential political party at that, you have seen in past 1 year what PML-N can achieve when it comes to its critical messaging. When it is saying that only we are being targeted, it is important that accountability process actually starts, doesn't stop actually holding them accountable, but expands and take other people into that process as well, so that all walks of life can be cleaned. And then we don't see these saints, these big sharks, who claim that they have politicians, or for that matter media journalists or media owners in their pockets. We have to start doing that. This was today's program. Thank you very much for watching us. Take care.